Hello, this is Morris Ruddick. We've been talking about Jewish business secrets. For the majority, success seems correlated to wealth. Yet from the stance of those the world considers the people of business, wealth is simply a byproduct. It is not only a different way of thinking, but a different strategy. We've looked closely at the way the Jewish people think. As we begin to glean the strategy, we find ourselves unfolding a dimension of creativity that breaks the mold with solutions previously hidden. It's called innovation. Innovation is discovery. It is birthing something new. It is written that the secret things belong to the Lord, but those that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever. This statement speaks of an inheritance of revelation, things previously unseen being unveiled from one generation to another. So if creativity is established as a way of thinking, then innovation, the discovery of things unseen, becomes the strategy to build and bring increase. While it may involve individual achievement, the framework for this revelation is the culture. It is released when the criterion comprising the ways of the Lord are adhered to as a people. It is the closure of the gap between the unseen world and the seen world. Despite Jews being less than 0.25% of the world's population, their accomplishments have not only far exceeded what statisticians would term chance expectations, but Jewish achievements represent a pattern which fulfills the destiny God outlined to Abraham's descendants. That destiny notes that through them, through the Jews, all the families of the earth would be blessed. It represents the spiritual DNA of the house of Israel. While I believe a good bit of the unverified Jewish facts that periodically pass by on the internet are true, Stephen Peace, a non-Jew, has authored a masterful piece of research titled The Golden Age of Jewish Achievement. While his scope covers the history of the Jews, the main focus of his effort is roughly the last 200 years, a time beginning with what he describes as the Jewish emancipation. This has been a time when the contributions of Jews have been far, far beyond the ordinary. He notes the amazing number of Nobel Prize winners, those distinguished on the many great 100 list of the historical notables, as well as the ratios in elite universities as both students and professors. Even more significant are the advancements, the discoveries, the products that have served humanity and civilization that have evolved from the work of the Jews. It is nothing short of overwhelming. In our discussion of Jewish business secrets, such ratios beg the question of ambition. Can such accomplishments be simply the result of brilliance combined with ambition? Perhaps the more appropriate question is how this ambition is directed. Once again, the conclusion is that it is a result of Jewish cultural DNA. It is the cultural DNA of the descendants of Abraham, shaped by the very reason that it was written that God chose Abraham. It was because Abraham would instruct his children and his household after him to keep the ways of the Lord. Ambition is an important question to address when considering such disproportionate success. Indeed, the issue of ambition is there, but for what purpose? From the Jewish perspective, it is a purpose greater than the individual. It is for the community, for the posterity of the Jewish people, and because the heritage of the descendants of Abraham is one that has been groomed to serve, to be taking the blessings extended by God and to bless those in their wake. More than one of the leaders of this first century Jewish sect addressed the issue of misplaced, self-serving ambition. The wrong type of ambition clouds the innovation it should have been serving. In clouding the innovation, it short-circuits the process and the success ratios. The design is to serve the community and posterity, along with bringing blessing to those outside the community. The psalmist captures a number of key dimensions on the importance of posterity and community to these people. It is the catalyst passed down which builds from one generation to another. It is the mantle that endures. It is written that even in darkness, light dawns for the gracious, compassionate, and righteous. All goes well for the one who is generous, who lends freely, and conducts their business fairly. The righteous deeds of such people will long be remembered. This particular passage concludes by noting that while the wicked may seek to undermine people who truly live their lives in this way, the intentions of the wicked will eventually come to naught. It suggests that success will follow the one whose ambitions are generous, honorable, and serve the needy in the community. Although the path will evoke the ire of those whose ways fall short of this standard, the outcome will be that when good prevails, it will overcome evil. Jesus indicated that we would know people by their fruits. Jesus' Jewish way of viewing things had strong words for those who misused their positions or power for personal gain, whose religious leanings disparaged others to their own benefit. Likewise, one of the most revealing passages unveiling God's heart by the prophet Isaiah similarly takes a hard stand against the hypocritical who point the finger in scorn. So as these secrets of Jewish business are applied within the context of community, sparks or igniters are released. These sparks relate to the reason God placed man on the earth in the first place. The reason was to advance, manage, and build his creation. It is written that God made man to have dominion, to rule over the work of his hands. From the beginning, the process has involved stewardship. This stewardship, when operating in cooperation with God, comes with unusual authority. This is the authority to establish God's rule. It's called dominion. However, dominion only operates when God's people are walking a walk. In the wintry month of January in 2007, I conducted one of my programs in a remote city in Russia. The congregation had been together less than a dozen years, yet had over 1,000 members. Upon my arrival, the setting for our entrepreneurial program had only weeks prior been purchased and occupied. It was one of the 10 most important historical sites in all of Russia. It was a palace that had been formerly owned by Lenin. Their far-sighted leaders were turning this facility into a community center. Within many major cities in the U.S., you will find Jewish community centers. In most cases, it is the result of someone in the community who has done well, succeeded, and then has given back. This concept of giving back is a very insightful glimpse into the heart of Jewish culture and our focus on Jewish business secrets. It is the acknowledgement of the heritage shared by the Jewish people as descendants of Abraham for the mantle and community dynamic preserved and made available to the one giving back. For many years, I belonged to the Jewish community center in my city. It was a place to exercise, to take my granddaughter swimming. It was a safe place to bring your family, to work out, to relax, and meet others, and to hold meetings. Services were held there. And giving back, the chief benefactor of the Jewish Community Center that I was a part of wasn't giving to an institution or a movement. He was giving to the community. This is the heart of tzedakah, the community dynamic of generosity in operation. It represents an investment in the community and the posterity of the Jewish people. Without the swimming facilities, this is what this facility in Russia was becoming, a community center. Yet knowing what the spiritual climate has been in Russia, you have to question how this purchase was ever approved. The story I was told was that the government had chosen to sell the facility. However, when the application came from a group of believers, there was initial consternation. Finally, a senior official provided the wisdom that led to the sale. Give these people whatever they want because they are doing so much good. It is written that through your good works that you will put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. This congregation had a drug rehabilitation program that was taking people off the streets and into a path of leading productive lives. They fed the poor. They worked with prisoners. So when released, the prisoners became productive members of the community. At the time I was there, they were making plans for a medical clinic. This community had learned the Jewish secret of trickle-down blessings, of being blessed to be a blessing. It impacted all within the community and was changing the spiritual climate of the city. Their role in serving the community in this way established this authority that is called dominion. The result was the authorities honoring this congregation's role in the community by granting their request to purchase the facility. They were good citizens. They were blessed and were extending the blessing, the mantle of Abraham, to the community around them. They were becoming disproportionate achievers. And I'm Morris Ruddick.